Yeah, that's great advice. Now, if you're advising a student or a student athlete, perhaps, when it comes to standardized testing, what do you typically, or do you have an assessment process, or how do you typically figure out how much test prep do they need and which test is best? Or maybe better yet, do they take both?
Yeah, I mean, so I ideally in an ideal world, I would have students kind of start thinking about this as sophomores in high school. I encourage them if their school offers a PSAT to take that as a sophomore, just to get a baseline score and see what your SAT score would be. So typically, if you can take that, it's offered in the fall. So if you can take that fall of sophomore year, that's the best bet. And then take there is the pre-ACT, but a lot of schools don't offer it. So I would say just take a full-length practice ACT, whether it's at a local test prep company or online somewhere. Or you can find a lot of past tests. You can just print it out and take it. So
Hmm.
take kind of a full-length one of each of those during your sophomore year at some point, and then ideally by the end of sophomore year, make that determination which test is right for you. I don't think it makes sense to take both. It's a lot of effort, kind of wasted effort. Schools across the board take both tests. They will accept an ACT or an SAT, and it truly doesn't matter to them. So it's really up to each student to find the test that's the best fit for them. So I think by kind of experiencing both, comparing those scores, there's a lot of like correlation charts online. If you just kind of Google ACT, SAT, correspondence charts, you can find them. And then see if there's one that felt better too. Some students really enjoy one over the other. I mean, in very general terms, the ACT is much quicker paced, but kind of sometimes a little bit easier questions, whereas the SAT, you have more time per question, but the questions can be a little bit more advanced. And there's also different sections. That the ACT has a science, which really kind of is more of a chart reading type section, and the SAT has two different math sections on it. So kind of by experiencing both, you can pick which one's the best fit. And then I like to have students, if they can, start to prep or really just kind of practice problems between sophomore and junior year in high school, and then kind of come up with a testing plan for junior year based on where they're at with math and things like that. So